about this Oberlin experience. I really do. I mean, because Shapiro does this all the time, and the reason I don't do it, I get a lot of offers to speak, but I'm so absent-minded that they come in and I'm writing all the time, and I just don't answer them. So the other day, this is true. I said to Shapiro, "What do I do about this? Because you're always talking. I feel like I owe it to people to kind of go out." And he said, "We have this lady here who basically runs the Daily Wire, Candace Brecka. She, basically we would all just sink into the sea without Candace. He said, ask Candace and she will take care of your speaking engagements." So this was the first one I got to her, and it went, I went off to Oberlin, not even thinking, seriously, not even thinking there would be any trouble because I'm such a lovely person. Who would it bother me? It's like, so now this is nothing. Obviously, this is nothing like what's happening at Berkeley. The situation at Berkeley is getting worse and worse. Ann Coulter had to cancel her show because they were threatening violence, and the campus police, and this is really shameful. The campus police said they just wouldn't do anything about it unless a life was in danger. They were just not going to stop these rioters, these thugs, this mob from shutting down free speech. Anne had been invited, and finally YAF, the Young American Foundation, we love them, but they just felt that the safety of people was more important than backing Anne's play. Anne was going to show up anywhere. They pulled out. Anne's angry about it, but she left. But now Gavin MacLeod, who has gone full alt-right, basically, he runs this group called the Proud Boys. Not a name I like very much, Proud Boys. When they call themselves Western chauvinists, okay? Western chauvinists. So we won't parse that. We'll just take them at their word. They're Western chauvinists. They believe in the West. I believe in the West. And they're saying that they're going to go with a contingent of large, Western chauvinists, I guess, and they're going to face down the left wing. Gavin, isn't that what I call? What did I call?
You said MacLeod.
Oh, MacLeod. Sorry, Gavin McInnes. All right, I'm not giving him. I'm not giving credit for leading this movement of rioting alt-right people. Gavin McInnes. Sorry about that. Thank you, J.A. This is, I've just got off the plane. I'm trying to use my words. So Gavin's going out there, and he's going to lead basically another one of these charges from the alt-right, and so they're looking forward to violence with the alt-left, and it's getting worse and worse. This was nothing like that. I mean, this is a very beautiful little college in the middle of Ohio, but a cloud, a pall of political correctness and left-wingism has settled over this thing like the fog in a horror movie, okay? So you meet... I go there, and I'm hosted by the Oberlin Republicans and Conservatives and Libertarian Club. And these guys are hilarious. I mean, they just have this deadpan troll-like sense of, they're like the new millennial trolls, They have this absolutely deadpan sense of humor. They just love to set people off. They they called it the Donald Trump series of lectures. So I was like, has Donald Trump ever been to a lecture? Why does he get a lecture? But they just do it to make people crazy because everybody else in the college, except these 15 or 20 people, how many ever they are, we're sobbing when Donald Trump won. I mean, this entire college went nuts. And so they put up 300 posters of my adorable face all over campus. Every single one was torn down. Every one was torn down. Yes. And they said they would climb up on chairs to put them, so make them hard to reach, and people would go up and get them. They were defaced. They were, people put, lipstick, drew lipstick on them and marked them as me as transphobic. Which who knew, It's like I'm a little afraid of spiders, but I don't have anything about transsexual people, and they were all torn down. And first, I have to mention. I just have to tell you this. They took me on a tour of the campus. And the campus has racially segregated housing. It has a place called A House. The A is for Africa. It is where the black people are housed. I mean, Martin Luther King would weep, okay? I wanted to say to these kids, I mean, to me, these people look like kids, right? I mean, like I'm an ancient figure at this point. I'm the ancient mariner at this point. So, like, I'm looking at these. I just thought, in my generation, people of all colors walked unarmed into phalanxes of Southern racist police holding weapons on them and hoses and running attack dogs on them to get rid of this crap. And you bring it back because you can't associate with them. One of the guys in the club was a black guy, and he said he had been banned from A House. So I thought, so this is and every bathroom is proudly, all genders, and every bathroom gender neutral or whatever. So I haven't been to the bathroom for 3 days, and and so it is this whole thing. You just know what you're dealing with, and the people using the room before me were in training to make sure that everybody could get an abortion. Make sure that access to abortion was right. So those were the people using the room before me, and I came in, and I seriously, I was joking about it a little bit, but I seriously wasn't expecting anything. There were no protests or anything like that. The minute I came in, I could see that there were going to be people who were not there because they agreed with me, which was absolutely fine. I was happy for that to happen. But there were people there who were there to heckle me. And there were especially, I don't know, maybe two, there was definitely two, there were maybe 3 or 4 hecklers, people who actually shouted out while I was speaking. But there were 2 people there who were really kind of trying to start trouble. Like one was this woman who would constantly laugh out loud, this big hysterical laugh, until one of the audience members turned around and told her to shut up. And the other guy was this guy with some kind of, he was obviously gay and had some kind of gender thing going on. He was weirdly dressed, and he would just shout out from time to time. And, I wanted to say to him, you think people don't like you because you're gay, but they probably don't like you because you're an ill-bred lout, But, I didn't do that. I'm not, I'm not Shapiro. I'm not out to attack people. I actually am out to talk to people and try and convince people. Our makeup lady, Taylor Payne, today joked that I'm what Shapiro would look like if he ate a Snickers bar. So all I would do is I would say to them repeatedly whenever they would stop, I hear you're angry, but I'm here to talk to you, and I'm going to give this speech, and then afterwards I will answer any question you have. I will debate you. I'll talk to you at any length you want. And here's the interesting thing, okay? There were a lot of lovely left-wing kids, students in this place, who waited their turn, listened to what I had to say, and then got up and asked me questions. They asked me questions at the Q&A. They stood after the show and they lined up and asked me questions, face to face. They were absolutely, well-mannered, charming, intelligent young people. All the hecklers, the minute I stopped talking, ran for the door. They all ran out. Not one of them had the guts. Not one of them had the guts to stay and ask a question and engage in actual debate. And a couple of